thermal convection, man.
These dudes almost killed me.
You know, redfish are really dumb.
How do you take your marsh dump?
This fool used all my toilet paper.
Bro, bye.
Well, now that Drew's done dragging this on.
TPP 15. You gonna get a dozen shrimp?
Hey, you throwing that cast net again this weekend? Oh, good Lord. I almost died.
I do not want to paddle that far.
Once again, he almost died.
I'm not waking up at the butt crack of dawn.
I'll see you at the launch around noon. I love wake baits. Haven't you ever heard them chatter?
Let me double back here for a second.
And now, a word from Saltside Jet.
Oh, yeah.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the paddle. Check out our sponsors.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
No, check out our sponsors.
Check out our sponsors.
I know you're gonna dig this.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are 2 hours and 10 minutes late.
I thought it was just now 6:30.
And I very much apologize for that. The winter storm from 2 weeks ago caused all these issues.
Oh, you're gonna blame it on that. Don't blame it on the fact that somebody hit a empty bus on the freeway and slowed you down by an hour or two.
Look, it didn't matter if I got here at 5, 6, we still would have been this late.
Hey, look, whoever's responsible for the network around here, we need to talk.
I love ACK. That's all I'm gonna say.
We do love ACK,
We
man.
love ACK for their kayaks.
Don't take my my comment out of context, man.
love ACK. Love ACK.
So check this out, man. So we've got something a little bit new here. As you can tell, I've got a foamy headed mic here, something brand spanking new. Hopefully we sound pretty good to you guys. If we do, give us a thumbs up. It's like I said, something completely new that we're doing here, and Drew's going to tell you a little bit about it.
So this is a live version, but we are now broadcasting live from the Bait Butler mobile studio.
The Bait Butler mobile studio, guys. That means we can take this sucker on the road anywhere we want to go and sound absolutely amazing.
And we can do it from home too.
Well, I won't let you take these mics home, man. Sorry.
Well, the Bait Butler wanted to be a part of the show officially.
Absolutely.
They said, how can we get on board? How can we be a sponsor?
How can we
What can
support
we
you
do?
guys? You guys,
Yeah,
actually, in Tina's words, you guys are freaking phenomenal. And I love you. And every time I hear you guys, I want to kick back and open up a beer and just chill and listen to you guys chat. So they said,
And that's
how
what
can
we're
we do
doing
that?
right now.
That's exactly what we're doing.
We didn't plan to drink this many beers, but now that we've been here for a while, we have drank this many beers. But Bait Butler, we really appreciate you guys.
We love those guys, man. Tina and Mark are fantastic.
They're
Awesome people.
They're a part of the Bro staff, a part of the Paddler's Playbook, along with other great companies, Real Sportswear, Abu Garcia, Berkeley, Penn, ACK, and now Bait Butler.
Real Sportswear, baby. You got to give it up to them foamies, man. Good stuff. Hey, but you know what? So we saw a question pop up here just a second ago. They asked, who are these two guys in the middle? Well, not only is this a special broadcast because we're doing it live from ACK, and we've got some decent equipment to build a studio, but this is a very, very, very special episode, guys. This is the angler intervention, okay? This is where they don't know about it. They don't know that this is an intervention, all right? This is where we confront anglers that have an addiction, right? This is where we talk to you guys about, how to face your fears and the things. This guy's like just bobbing his head like, are you surprised, man? It's angler intervention, No, guys, actually, this is tournament talk, man. We're going to do an entire episode on tournament talk. I'm going to throw this over to Drew because honestly, things come out of my mouth sometimes and I don't even think about it. So Drew's got the entire script. I didn't even read the questions in my true natural fashion.
Do you ever read?
I didn't even read the questions. I like
This
to be
guy-
surprised.
This guy's a tournament angler too, so he's got to be a part of
Yes.
it as well.
So not only do we have these gentlemen at the table, and by these gentlemen at the table, I mean Ben Maldonado and Abel
Poppin' Cork Zuniga. You guys have heard
You've
us
heard us
talking
talk-
about him. You guys have heard us talking about this guy. Show us your wrists, man. We hear their damn.
Man.
But not only do we have him and Ben, we also have Mr. Lunch Money, Ryan Lambert.
Hey,
Yes.
the freshwater world has joined us.
The money man. Lunch Money. Let's see your wrist. Oh, hold on. I got to unmute you.
We'll try to work on that.
See those wrists.
Well, honestly, is
Get the
there a
big
place
wrist.
for? Whoa, what? um, is there? I got a question. Is there any place in the freshwater world for popping corks? I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk about using popping corks.
According to Abel, there is.
Yeah, you out there slaying bass with popping corks?
He just knocks him over the head.
I mean, bass are dumb. That you could probably catch one on popping cork. My
No.
I
buddy was- he-
disagree.
No,
I disagree.
Redfish are dumb.
Redfish are dumb.
Oh,
Bass
redfish are very dumb. That's true.
Bass are pretty smart, man.
Ah, that's what people out of saltwater say. When they can't fish with shrimp, they're like, "Man, bass are too smart. This is ridiculous."
What Jew's giving me this. I'm not sure what he's giving me that for, but
Keep
I
it
guess
going,
he wants
keep
me to
it
keep
going.
it going. So, tournament talk. All right. Now, I am going to suspect right now that whenever we talk to these guys about prepping themselves and their equipment for tournament day, that Ryan is going to give us a totally different story on how he preps for a tournament day. Some of these guys, I'm going to tell you, like Ben, sometimes on the tournament day, I've seen him out there with 3 rods. I've seen Ryan's rig whenever he's out there fishing a tournament, and I'm pretty sure there's like 40.
Like 4 rods. I don't carry a bunch of rods. I ain't into that, man.
I said 40.
Yeah, I said 4. I ain't carry. I don't have 40 rods in my garage right now.
Well, Ryan, you told us before, if you have 4 rods, watch your ass, because you know what's going. You know
That's
what you're
that's
doing.
the guy that's going
Yeah.
out there, and he's
Yeah.
gonna take it. He's gonna
But
take your
if
money.
you have 6 or 8 rods, you may not know what you're doing.
Now, if
that
I
day.
got 6 rods, I don't know what's going on. If I got 4 or less, then I got it dialed in.
It's got to be your confidence baits, right? That's what you usually taking out there.
It's got to be what they're eating. What I'm confident they're going to eat when I get up in the morning. I mean,
Yeah,
I've been pre-fishing all week, so we've got a tournament on Lake Gunnersville Saturday. So I came off the water, ran home, took a shower, scarfed down some food, worked with you guys for an hour trying to get this thing off the ground. So I'm in the middle of tourney prep right now.
Ryan was our guinea pig, man. He was testing all the. How's this sound, Ryan? How's that sound, Ryan?
Y'all better put me on a good fishing trip when I come to Texas.
Man,
I'll tell you that.
We got you, dude. We got you. Hey, none of these guys have a boat, but I do.
You don't need no boat.
like it.
What you need a boat for?
Drink beer.
You can drink beer on a kayak. He's got a PA.
Yeah, in a PA. That's a 12 beer kayak right there, man.
12 beer kayak.
Well, let's get into some questions here. Let's get into the meat and potatoes here. Ben Maldonado,
Yes, sir.
do you remember your first tournament? And
I
tell
do.
me about your first tournament.
My first tournament. Yeah.
Step up to the mic, sir.
Oh, yeah. My first tournament, to be honest, it wasn't that long ago. I think the first tournament I fished was in 2014, I believe. It was a Lone Star Kayak Series. Redfish tournament. Typical tournament, right? 2 redfish. Yeah, it was a pretty good day. It wasn't a bad experience. I didn't win, but it wasn't a bad experience. I brought in 2 fish. I think it was like 13 pounds. And if you guys know, back in 2014, 13-pound bags were kind of heavy back then, right? There was, the tournament scene for redfish is, it's just gotten more difficult these days. But anyway, 13-ish pounds. I ended up taking, I think, 5th place. So I was pretty happy. I was excited. I was like, all right, I got some money. I got some prizes. I can do this.
Now, you say it like that.
Yeah, because it
But
wasn't like
before we
that.
started, you said, I finished 5th and I felt like a badass.
I thought I was a badass. It was awesome. It was cool though. But then I realized soon after that it wasn't always gonna be that easy.
Chris, your first tournament.
Why you gotta start with me, man? I mean, go to me.
This is a follow-up question.
All right.
Have you not listened to this show?
I've thought about it.
Follow-up questions.
I've thought about it. Okay.
No, I don't want to know about your first tournament.
Oh, okay.
I just want to know what place did you get?
Was it fifth?
What about whenever you blank? What place is that?
Oh damn.
Didn't weigh
That's
in.
last.
Yeah, my first tournament, I didn't weigh in any fish.
Not any at all.
No, I had a horrible day. In fact, I've got some what I call loser clips, where I totally failed on hook sets. The whole day, it was like something was going on the whole entire time. Every single time I saw a fish, right over to it, it'd spook away, or I'd get the eat and I'd go set the hook and something crazy would happen. I wouldn't have my drag set, or my line was wrapped around a freaking eye. It was ridiculous.
And this
So
was just last week, right?
Whoa.
I felt that coming. I felt it coming, man.
No. Man,
So,
that was good.
no, this was, man, I want to say this was okay. So we got a lot of Texas guys that are listening in. We have a tournament down here called LSKS, Lone Star Kayak Series, and that was my first tournament to appear in. And of course, a lot of guys break their teeth on that tournament because it's only a $50 buy-in.
Did you say break their teeth?
Cut their teeth.
Cut their teeth, break their teeth.
Y'all wild in Texas, boy. Y'all are wild. Boy,
Yeah.
breaking their teeth out.
These tournaments, that's how hardcore they are.
Man, it's 8:51. Bro, I go to bed at 9:00, man.
I used to till tonight.
Right.
Tell me about it.
So, this was before Dustin took it over.
Yeah.
So I don't know when that was. Probably, God, man, I want to say it was something ridiculous, like 2009, 2010, something like that, like a long freaking time ago. But anyway, yo, I didn't even weigh in, man. And that morning, like I got up, I was so fresh and ready to go, man. I went across the causeway and I was taking like mean mugging selfies, like I got this shit, and I was ready, man. I posted on Instagram, I posted on Facebook, and then I'm like, at the end of the day, skunk set, it was
Man.
fantastic. Anyway,
Abel, what about you, man? First
The
tournament.
First tournament. And the first tournament I think was probably Lone Star
Lone Star Kayak
Series. I think it was probably 2015 maybe. And I think I placed 19th or something like that. But it was like 175.
we get a lot of people,
Yeah.
especially
was
the
a
lot.
first one of the season. There's usually a lot of people.
But there
That's
used to
right.
be a lot some of those older
So-
tournaments. I remember like 150
Yeah.
something.
Okay, so we're talking about 150, and lunch money Ryan over there is going. I'm not even showing up to take their money.
Nah, shit.
150.
No, that's a good turnout, man. That's a real good turnout.
I hear you guys get like 350, 400 people at some of those.
No, you're talking about the clown show, like the national championship where 1,200 people qualify. I'm talking about real tournaments. Like the big money tournaments, you'll get like 140, 150 people show up.
Buy-in,
Buy-ins like 260.
Oh yeah.
that's not bad. The people down here, they want a pro series or something like that. Our buy-in is like $5,000.
I'd be down for that. I think we'll see something like that.
Because you just won $30,000. That's
Hey.
why you're down for that.
Scared money don't make no money, son. You got to throw it. That's how it goes.
That's true.
Jesus. So Ryan, tell us about your first tournament. Do you remember it vividly?
Oh yeah. So I didn't bass fish, period. And this was like 2015. And I had just bought my first kayak and I caught a couple bass accidentally crappie fishing. And I was like, man, this isn't that hard to do. I'm going to run to Walmart. I'm going to buy a bait caster. I'm going to buy a rod and I'll buy some just random tackle. So I bought like an assorted Yum soft plastics box. I bought a couple different hooks and then I bought a swim jig because it was just hanging there. And I was like, oh, cool, swim jig. So I go to this tournament in Chattanooga, which is like 45 minutes away from my house. I knew no one there, and it's a blind draw tournament. So it was a team tournament, but you just had no idea who your partner was. So I draw this guy who had been in the club for a while, and he was a pretty good angler. His name's Cameron Gatlin. He fishes some FLW stuff now. But I go up to him and I introduce myself. I'm like, hey, man, I apologize in advance. Number one, I've never really bass fished. Number two, I've never fished any kind of tournament whatsoever. So I go out and, like, I don't know, first 30 minutes, I catch a 5-pounder I was using a crawl, but I was running it across the top of the water like a frog. And I was like, man, this is so cool. I got to paddle over here and tell this guy that knows how to fish that I just caught a big fish. So as I'm heading over to him, I pull up on YouTube how to throw a swim jig. So I'm watching this video as I'm heading over toward him, and I tie the swim jig on. I'm telling him, hey, man, I just caught it was like a 20.5-inch largemouth. And I'm ripping this swim jig through the grass, and I catch like an 18.5-inch largemouth. And he's like, what are you doing? I was like, hell, I don't know. I just saw it on YouTube.
I have no idea.
And he starts laughing. He's like, dude, if you catch one more good fish, like, we're going to win this tournament. So I caught another good fish, and we won the team tournament. And I was like, man, this bass fishing is easy, boy. We're going to stick with this.
I gotta ask you a question. So you said you went to the Walmarts and you got yourself some gear. What kind of reel did you get?
It was a Abu Black Max, and
hey, I knew it.
It was a Abu Black Max, and then it was a lightning rod, Berkeley lightning rod. I still have that rod. I'm gonna keep it until I'm in the ground, just because, I mean, the memories. I've caught some really good fish on it, and I used it for a couple of years into tournament fishing. Because I've never been the guy that goes out and buys like the most expensive anything. Like I don't do that. So I just kept using that stuff, and if I would win a rod or whatever in a raffle, that's what I would use, for the next couple of years. So that's how it all started.
Well, you still have that Berkeley rod that you're talking about. That is a perfect segue, guys. Everybody watch the video right now.
Hey, we can't see you, man.
You don't have to see me.
Oh.
Whenever you make a comment, if you're watching this video, you are now entered to win a prize pack from Penn, Berkeley, and Ugly Stick.
Nice.
But you have to comment. It can't be an old
Y'all
comment.
better comment right now.
It is commented while we are live. While we are live, if you make a comment, you will be entered. And it is a sweet Penn dry bag.
Does it matter how many comments? I mean, the more comments they make, the more chances they have.
One comment in your end.
I would have lied and told them that the more comments that they.
But if we ask your question and when you comment, you get 5 entries. How about
Hey, look at that.
Whoa.
So if you have a question in your comment, and we bring it up on the board,
They get 5.
they get 5 extra entries. I hope Drew's keeping track of all this.
5
Rico's
extra
back
entries.
there, right?
It's in his mind.
It's not all. You're not only going to win the Penn dry bag, which is a large dry bag.
That dry bag is badass, dude.
Shit,
I
I'm
use
trying
it
to get
for
my
all
comment
sorts
in
of
right now.
It's big enough for a drone. It's big enough for
big.
blankets, all kinds of
It's
stuff.
big enough to fit a torso.
You're going to get a tub of Berkeley Gold, assorted colors, and you're going to get an Ugly Stick koozie and a Berkeley koozie.
Nice.
So that is the prize pack we're giving away. And this pin bag is really, really nice. I actually used it, not this one, but not the one.
Slightly used pin bag.
I didn't use that one. I mean, it was still nice even if I used it, but it's a really big bag. It's nice. It's going to be great for drones. It's going to be great for kayak camping. You could fit a week's worth of clothes in it. It is a very, very nice dry bag.
Juan, Carlos, you can not swap the gear for a guided trip with Ben and Abel, but you might be able to get a trip with Ben or Abel, not both of them together.
I don't know.
I think we can make something happen, Carlos.
The code word, by the way, Matt Murphy, is pineapple,
Willy Wonka.
but you have to say it like that. Oh,
Pineapple.
pineapple.
Pineapple. All right. Questions. Question time.
Bill, they're fishing in the water, buddy.
That is correct.
All All right, Joey wants to know, why did you guys start fishing tournaments? I've never fished a tournament.
This is a great
and
question.
I don't think I ever will.
I think it's actually on our.
Yeah, it is.
I did read it.
But Joey's gonna get 5 extra entries.
Hey,
I fish for peace and for a time to get away. Yes, the thrill of catching a fish. Rico just took off my comment,
hey, put it back up there, fool.
but that's okay. The thrill of catching fish is awesome, but it's a getaway. So, Ben, what about fishing tournaments just makes you like gotta sign up,
I think it's
gotta
just,
be in?
it's not just term. It's the competitive nature, right? Like I think we all have that competitiveness in us, right? I don't know. For me, that's what it is. I started out fishing, and then I started just kind of recording my outings, and I was like, all right, what's next? Oh, tournaments. And I wanted to kind of get into that, see what it was all about, kind of cut my teeth on
Break them
Break
some
them.
gums. Break your gums, dog.
and
Break yourself.
that's what it is. Just being competitive, making yourself better. Just enjoying the sport. I don't know. I just enjoy the tournaments. I don't know.
Plus, you wanted to be closer to Abel.
I mean, that's a plus. Come on.
Abel, what about you, man? What got you into tournament fishing? Because me and you got into tournament fishing about the same time.
Yeah, I think
Because I
so.
can remember a
Y'all
saltwater
fished in
survival
tournaments together.
series.
Yeah, we fish together,
Yeah.
But I think it just kind of elevates the excitement. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if it's always great to get out on the water, and you catch a fish. Hey, man, that's a great day. You know what I mean? And but fishing a tournament, catching some good fish, that just kind of elevates everything. Elevates your excitement.
Everybody wants to win.
Everybody wants to win. Yeah, I mean, and if you could do it and win some money out of it, or it's the whole experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fishing the tournament. So I think it just elevates the whole excitement of the game.
Ryan, what about you, man?
I just like to beat people. I don't.
I just want to whoop.
No, seriously. I just like I like competition of any kind. Like my friends we've done this like in bar parking lots and stuff. Like I think I can outrun you barefoot on the gravel. Like, well, we'll go do it. So
there you go.
it's just kind of a similar deal with tournaments. Like I like to kind of push myself. I feel like, especially depending on where you're at and the competition you have, like it's going to make you get better. You're going to learn something, especially when you hear these tourney recaps of what the winners did and how they adjusted to different conditions. It's going to make you a better angler. So that's not only going to translate over to tournament fishing, but fishing in general, because you're going to remember that day when you didn't catch anything and this dude, put up 110 inches, which is a huge bag in bass fishing. You're going to remember that. You're going to remember what he did and how he adjusted. And when you're out fun fishing the next time, you're gonna make those adjustments. It's going to make you improve. So that's, not only does it drive you in a competitive sense, but I think it's going to make you a better angler overall. I don't think people should let the tournament aspect scare them off from trying it, because it really is a great experience.
Oh yeah, definitely.
With y'all's level, I mean, because you guys are all tournament winners that are here. Chris, Ben, Abel, is there ever a time when it's just fun fishing, or is it just always pre-fishing for a tournament? I mean,
See, this is where I fall in a different category than a lot of these guys. Why'd you wink at me, man? Come on, bro. That's for later. Hey, by the way, I need to bring this up real quick. Did you guys that are listening right now that are watching this, did you happen to notice that we asked Abel about his first tournament memory, and he was able to say like, well, I fished in such and such year, and then they go, well, what about you, Ryan? He didn't get to finish anything about what he was saying, man. We just cut him off like that. We just, if you don't mind, just stick to your popping cork, okay? All right. So I'm in a completely different realm than some of these guys as far as the competitive nature, super competitive nature. I started using this as more of a way to connect with people, because I lost a lot of the. We're no longer playing football. We're no longer playing baseball. We're no longer, in sports where we're hanging around with a bunch of dudes, hanging out after the event, things like that. So, and I love fishing. Okay. I mean, we all know I love fishing. Y'all love fishing. Everybody that watches this and listens to the podcast loves freaking fishing. Okay. And I just wanted to kind of connect those two things, right? And start hanging out with some bros that are doing the same thing. So, you asked about pre-fishing. I can't tell you of a time that I can tell you of one time when I actually put a bunch of effort into pre-fishing, and that was the last Rudy's that y'all beat me at. And I told Scott, I said, there's no way anybody's going to beat us unless they have 17 pounds. Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Y'all had 17 pounds, man. So anyway, that was the only time that I ever really pre-fished for an event. I just get out there and do it. So back to your question, man.
Well, that leads into my actual question. Pre-fishing. Abel,
Yeah.
are you guys pre-fishing? And how early is too early to pre-fish?
I mean, I'll be honest, Ben and I both have full-time jobs. I mean, we're busy Monday through Friday. So the only pre-fishing we ever do is the weekend before.
It seems like that. Yeah.
It seems most of the time that's all we have time for.
But
we do.
you're doing your fun fishing, other times.
Right.
And I'm not talking about like Pierce, okay, going and making a run to Pierce or something like
Right.
that. Okay, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, you're like, hey,
Hey, hot spots, bro. Come on.
it's not a hot spot. It's a good fun place to fish.
Yeah.
But you're kind of doing your pre-fishing by just experiencing the fun factor and taking friends out to different locations, maybe not hot spots. Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, I will say this, the hot spots that I know of, I don't touch for like 3 weeks.
The hot spots that we know, we usually don't touch unless it's around tournament time, right? So there, like Abel said, it's probably, we don't pre-fish a lot, but when we do pre-fish, it's probably is it not working? Oh, I'm sorry.
Just
Let me
eat
just
the mark.
You were turning that way.
Okay, I'm sorry, guys. No, the hot spots that we have, we usually pre-fish them probably a week or two out, right? So it's not something that we fish, months out or anything like that. And we usually don't fish at all times of the year, right? Like most of the spots that we have, we don't really touch them till around tournament.
And you're pre-fishing. Okay, if you're pre-fishing a weekend before, you have no idea what's going to happen with tides, winds, things like that the weekend after. Okay, if the last time that I actually went out and pre-fished, I pre-fished 2 days before.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's optimal.
Yeah.
For us, it's not, like he said, we're full-time careers. I'm going to school full-time, right? Times, it's an asset that we don't have we just don't have a lot of time, right? But
I was fortunate. I had Scott. I had Tilly.
Yeah.
He would go check on some places.
If we could, optimal would be a day or two before, right? Because you got the same tides, weather's relatively same, temperature's the same, right? So that would be optimal.
By the way, shout out to my boy Tilly, man. We haven't fished together in a really long time. We need to. We were supposed to fish the drag burner, but my boat's broke. Anyway, go back. Go ahead.
No, I mean, that was what I was going to say. Yeah, optimal it would be to fish it a couple days before, right? You got the same tides, same temperature, same weather, and that's what you want, right? If you're going to catch them in those conditions, more than likely those fish are going to still be there a couple days later, right? It's whenever you're a week or 2 weeks out, and sometimes that's the only options you have, right? For us, sometimes we do have a week or two out of pre-fishing, and we don't hit that spot until the day of the tournament, and we just get lucky. But it's not.
Fishing is luck.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah. It's luck, guys. There is a lot of skill. Don't get me wrong, man. There's a lot of skill. I think the bass guys probably have to deal with the skill factor a lot more than us redfish guys, because redfish are dumb.
What do you say, Ryan?
Yeah, Ryan. So there's different pre-fishing rules for different tournaments, though. Like, what is the average pre-fishing rules? Like, no fishing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday before a Saturday tournament. What's the normal rules for that?
No, I mean, right now it's kind of open season. So you've got there's I don't know, maybe 5, 6 people that either have jobs or don't have jobs at all and can travel the country, and they live in, boat ramps and tents and whatnot wherever, and they'll pre-fish, a lake for a week or 2 weeks before the tournament. For the most part of tournament anglers, like, official practice starts on Monday, and that means, like, you can't be in a bass boat, like, you can't have any communications with, like, any guides, any pros or anything like that on the lake that you're fishing. But there's not really a set kind of cutoff dead period. I hope that there will be, to be honest. I think if we are going to try to move this forward, and Hobie's done a great job at kind of building the platform for like an elite top tier, big money payout series, I think that's going to have to come into play somewhere, because if you want it to get to the point like BASS or MLF or whatever, they all have those rules in place, like they'll do a 30-day dead period and then a 5-day official practice, something similar to that. That's what I'd like to see happen. Right now, it's not structured that way. So whenever you can get in town, you go fish. Usually I try to get in 2 or 3 days of pre-fishing if I can, just so I can hit like 4 or 5 ramps. And the way I do it is I'll find those ramps. I'll go in and catch like 3 fish. I catch 3 fish just to see what the average size is, and then I'll pull out, because there's no point in just sitting there sore lipping tournament fish. So that's kind of my approach to it.
Now, how early before a tournament can you find a pattern and then feel comfortable that it's going to be the same on tournament day?
So freshwater, like right now, for instance, so I've been pre-fishing Guntersville for the last 2 days. It's an early pre-spawn pattern. So the fish are pulling in from the lake, looking for these coves, looking for these flats where they're going to pull up and spawn. So most of the fish are going to be on, the mouths of creeks or the mouths of the coves, or the deep hole right before flat. Like, it's a pretty good lake-wide pattern, and it's going to hold until the water warms up to upper 50s, 60 degrees. That's kind of the magic number that those fish are like, all right, come on, let's go. Like, we got to get up here to this shallow water. That pattern will hold for 3 to 4 weeks. You can watch the temperature and pretty much predict what they're going to do. The spawn, you can fish as shallow as you want to. So that's going to last. You can fish for spawning bass, even post spawn, they'll stay in the same areas. You got about a month and a half of that. And then it'll move to the post spawn / summer pattern. That summer pattern, all the fish pull out of the shallow, not all the fish, the majority of the fish pull out of the shallow water and go out deep. So you're going to look for humps. You're going to look for big main lake flats with a ledge on them, like that. That's going to last for months. So if you find a school on a ledge, they may move a few hundred yards, but those fish will be, they'll be out in deep water for the remainder of the summer. So you can usually sit on those till August, September.
Now, when you guys are pre-fishing, when you're pre-fishing,
he's still got a 2-hour drive back home, man.
That's tricky.
When you're pre-fishing, are you guys logging your catches? Is there an app you're using? Are you writing in a journal, old school? You taking a picture and then going back through your pictures and stuff? How are you logging your pre-fishing catches and location?
Ben logs them for Abel.
That's true. That's true.
Damn.
Catch the fish and he logs it in there,
Okay.
No, I do log my catches though. I use the Angler app. I don't know if you guys seen that, right?
Yep.
I'll hit the start button, and then it'll start my routine.
What is it?
The Angler app.
Angler app. That's used on the Abu Garcia rods. So feel free to buy an Abu Garcia rod and use the Angler.
Anyways, no, those are good. Yeah, but the Angler app, I log it. I take the pictures of all the fish that I catch.
How long have you been using that?
A couple years now, so not too long. But
it's helped you, huh?
I don't know if it's helped me.
Oh man,
it's a good way to go back. It's a good way to go back to see where you've caught fish during certain times of the year, right?
That and Facebook memories, right?
Well, you know what?
I have this cool thing called
Memories.
Instagram. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
This fish like a 20.
Here's the thing, man, is that you can use your profile as a log and nobody can see it if you turn it on,
Right.
private.
Right.
You can use that as a log. Now you have to be on Facebook to be able to use
I was
it.
gonna say you're
Yeah,
not even on.
I'm
Facebook
not even on
anymore,
Facebook
old man.
anymore.
Giving us Facebook techniques. He's not on Facebook.
I hear the boomers are off of Facebook now, so I'm no longer there. But
Oh Jesus Christ, baby boomer over here.
but I did use Facebook a lot, man. It was a great tool, and I would use other people's profiles too. Like burn the labels.
whenever they would post a memory.
I'd go back to their. I'm like, you can set the date. Go back to how are they doing, and then pick out the landmarks behind them. Yeah, okay, they were there. Cool.
Boy.
I checked the videos.
That's how
I
you
checked-
guys happen to be in the same areas all the time.
Right.
Well, that's not me, but I only ran into him once.
That he could see.
A while ago. That was a long time ago, dude. We were fishing a saltwater survival series, like one of the first ones with Eddie.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Ryan, what about you, man? How are you logging your fish?
I'm not. I'll take a picture and post it to Instagram or something, and like whenever that time rolls around. So I've got a pretty special little smallmouth bite on Lake Gunnersville. So I'll go back through, look at my memories, see when I caught the first big one, and then I know like it's time to get back out there and do it. I'm pretty good at remembering when and where I catch fish. Like I've got a good bite going. I don't know why.
All right, Ryan, if you want to go,
Ryan's like, I don't know anything. I don't know why, but I'm just badass at this shit. You guys go get you some Walmart's Black Max. And,
I'm unorthodox at best. That would be a compliment.
but I'm gonna take all y'all's money.
Ryan, do you fish many team tournaments at all? Are there any past team
Not
tournaments?
anymore. So we do a team tournament every spring as like a benefit tournament for our Tennessee clubs. We raise money for the state championship. So we do a charity team tournament. I usually fish it just to get out and have a good time.
So this question that pops up during the two-man tournament, how do you and your partner communicate, that sort of thing? So we're actually not allowed to use cell phones or two-way radios. Now we can yell to each other. We can yell across the lake. We have to be within 150 yards of each other. That's the typical rule for saltwater fishing.
So just to answer his question, the communication is easy because we.
Hey, I got this big son bitch over here. Yo, check it out. Woo!
Wow.
That's me
On that note, that's me crappie fishing.
Damn. You knocked my headphones off with that one.
That's me.
Goodness.
I even
fishing,
put my
man.
microphone way far away, man.
All right, Ben and Abel, how do you guys approach a team tournament differently than a solo tournament?
All the solo tournaments, they still fish together.
Yeah,
That's true.
They're supposed to be outside of 100 yards and less waved in.
for the
So
most
you
part.
guys get to the launch and you're like,
They waved each other in at the launch.
come on.
I don't think it's there's very much difference there
No.
between us. I mean, we kind of like talk to each other about it a whole week, and we
When
end
are y'all
up in the same
gonna?
spot most
When
of the times.
when did y'all decide that it's okay to have children?
Come on, man.
You know what I just realized?
Hey,
Chris?
whenever the money started coming in, you know,
I just
Good
realized
tax returns, man.
there you go.
this is the first episode from the Bait Butler Studio, and Mark and Tina are one person, and so are Ben and Abel. If you say Ben, you say
Come
Abel.
on,
So-
man. Come on.
So their celebrity name, would it be Babel?
Oh, man.
Come on. Come on.
Ben and Abel. Ben and Abel. Let me pull my questions back up. All right.
Babel?
Other than just, well, I guess pre-fishing has a lot to do with it. But is there anything else, Ryan, that makes you very confident going into a tournament day?
Depending on where the lake is and the time of year, like Gunnersville in the springtime, I'm pretty confident going into it. Gunnersville in the fall time, I'm pretty confident going into it. Everything else is kind of a crapshoot, but it really depends on the lake, how much experience I have there, and kind of what the bite's doing. So I like grass fishing, that kind of stuff. So if it's a grassy lake, I usually feel all right going into it.
So just the type of lake that you're fishing, you're comfortable with just grassy areas that you.
I mean,
can
I just
really-
feel like I can find fish there because fish love burying up in hydrilla or milfoil or whatever. So if it's a grass lake, I feel comfortable with that because I live in between Chickamauga and Gunnersville, which are arguably two of the best grass lakes, in the United States. So I feel really good about, fishing that type of cover. So if it's a grassy lake, then I'm pretty confident. But like, I like fishing rivers. I like fishing moving water too. So like the Susquehanna, for instance, I went up there and got my teeth broke out last year, but I felt good about it. Hell, I felt like I was about to get up there and clean house because it was smallmouth and moving water, and I got wrecked, man. It was awful.
Here's something interesting that I was going to ask you about. Okay, so these saltwater fishing is quite a bit different than man, do you hear him chugging that beer down? Anyway, so there's a pretty big difference as far as we have to constantly monitor tides and moving water now. And I was like, okay, these guys got to fish lakes. There's no tidal flow. The water doesn't move. The fish usually stay around a general area.
They're in the lake. It's got to be easy, right?
Very false.
But rivers and
Don't listen to Chris.
Rivers and you fish bayous.
Not up here, bud.
Moving water. Okay, moving water. What's the angle there?
So fun fact: most of the lakes, even in the southeast, are hydroelectric dam controlled. So the bite is very dependent on the flow of the dam above and the dam below. So that's going to control kind of your bite window. Those fish are very responsive when there's current moving through. But actually getting up into the skinny part of the rivers, which is usually in the tailwaters of the dam, you're looking for eddies, current breaks, current seams, deep holes, boulders. Like you're looking for places fish can kind of hide to ambush prey. And that's why I like fishing those moving water areas when I can find it, because those fish are so much more predictable. The Hobie Tournament of Champions last fall, I went up in a river, I found a nice current seam, and I beat it up for 2 days and got that one. And Watts Bar, which was about 3 weeks ago, again in Knoxville, but I went way up a creek because the lake itself, it was 19 degrees when we launched. Like it was freaking miserable, but the bite on the lake was dead. There were shad kills everywhere, so those fish were just eating dead shad. I knew I couldn't compete with that, so I went up the river looking for that moving water bite because those fish are isolated. They can't just run around wherever they want to go. They have to stay in certain locations. So I keyed into that, and I had zero confidence going into that tournament. I didn't think I was going to catch a limit. But ended up finding some nice little isolated river fish and taking that one. But that's why I bet on rivers more than lakes, because those fish are a lot more predictable.
So we do have some guys that are listening that like to fish bass tournaments and freshwater fish tournaments that do fish these types of waters. Are you familiar with any lakes like this in Texas where they're controlled by dams and that have that type of flow? I mean, I'm such a dunce whenever it comes to freshwater fishing.
I'm with you, man.
Aren't the lakes through Austin? Aren't they all dammed up in their series, like Lady Bird and all that, Lake Austin and all that stuff? Aren't they all?
I know
dammed
that,
up?
none of them are natural except for Caddo, but
right.
Yeah,
That's Caddo's probably my favorite lake to fish in the world. That place is something special, man. That is a sweet lake.
Power plant lake too. Fairfield, it's a power plant lake.
Okay,
for sure. Ben and Abel, what about you guys? What makes you confident going into a tournament day?
I think, and I think Abel will probably agree with me. I think whenever we're probably most confident from spring to fall, I think. And I think that's probably where most tournaments are anyways, right? But
From spring to fall. So
well, hear me out.
that's
Everything but winter.
yeah.
I don't want to just limit it that.
We're hot when all the tournaments are going on.
We're confident. What I was gonna say is we're confident whenever we have higher tides, right? Abel and I specifically, we like to fish popping cork and topwater. That's like our tournament go-tos, right? And
At the same time.
yeah, mostly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
But it's those higher tides, right? Like we like to have that higher tide when that water's pushed into the marsh or whatever body of water we're working. I feel like those fish push in, and whenever those fish push in, the tide's a little bit higher, which makes it a better opportunity for us to catch fish with popping cork or topwater. Typically anywhere between 2 to 5 feet, right? I think those fish, in 5 feet, those fish are going to come up to the top if they see or hear that that cadence of the topwater or that pop of the popping cork, and that's kind of like our thing. We're not really the fishermen that kind of like to crab walk and sight cast in shallow water, or fish really deep water, right? It's kind of that 2 to 5 feet higher tide marsh type fishing. That's kind of where we've had our most success. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to start fishing like that, man. Nah, stick to the shallow stuff, sight
to what you're doing.
casting, my 4-pounders on a daily.
I don't know. I just, for me specifically, I feel like I never. I don't get me wrong. I love to fish and sight cast. I love to be in like a foot or less of water and see those redfish tailing, but I never see in our waters. Anyways, I know this is different for whatever region of Texas you are, or Louisiana, right? I'm just talking about our area. What I have experience with, I've never really see those big
So
bull reds in like a foot of water.
every big fish that I've weighed
Caught
in
is in a foot of water.
and pulled a check off of
Mhm.
has been alone by itself in inches of water.
But how consistent is that?
It's hard, man. It's
That's-
hard.
that's
I have
the-
to put
that's
in
the thing.
miles and miles and miles because it's
Right.
not consistent. I've got to go find that one fish.
So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to maximize our opportunities to catch fish, and it always seems to be that we can catch double-digit bigger fish in that 2 to 5
And
foot.
I guarantee anybody that's listening right now, you will catch bigger fish, better quality fish on nice top waters, man. I've seen it time and time again.
More than popping cork?
I'll
You
tell you
guys
what.
both like it.
I'll tell you what. I
guys
gotta disagree on
top
that one.
waters, popping cork. And just to throw this out there, there will be some awesome popping cork rods coming to the market very, very soon from Turner Rod Co.
Okay,
Just-
okay.
So
Just
tell
throwing
us
this
all
out.
about the top waters, man. You've got
Throwing
the
this out there.
stage right now.
Okay.
But do you guys catch more quality fish
Yeah.
on top water
You're just like yes,
or popping cork? Which
I think
one?
it's a mixture of both.
No.
Okay.
Which one is more?
No, he's right.
I wanna
He's
know.
right.
Okay, look, I'll tell you what. A lot of my better results have been on a popping cork.
Yep.
And I promise you, when guys are struggling, it's funny that they always go to a popping cork at the end.
Yeah.
But they wait till the end.
Yeah.
For me, like I'll tell him, hey, work the popping cork all you want. I'll start working on the top. I'll start working the top water.
Yeah.
I'll work on the popping cork.
Yep.
And sure enough, man, those big fish will hit that popping cork.
Hey,
So-
but
and
how many tournaments have you won?
I mean,
But keep calling that popping cork a newbie rig.
Hey,
No.
everybody
Every
can call it
tournament
a-
angler that's
Hey,
advanced
everybody
in
can
season
call
has the
it a
popping cork
noob.
ready to go.
everybody can call
It
it,
ain't
a
the
new
most-
type of fishing,
Yeah.
but I'll tell you what, man, it produces.
It produces. Is it not fun?
And on
I'd
tournament
rather have
day,
a blow up.
I don't care what anybody says on tournament day. If it produces a check and it produces a win, I'm gonna do it. So you can
Yeah.
say all you want, but I'm gonna keep doing
Take it personal,
So
Abel.
hold on. Episode 3, okay, which is the episode where we had Ben on, talking about spring redfish tactics. That's when we first name dropped Abel popping cork Zuniga.
Popping cork is gonna go.
Okay, and
Yeah.
we told Ben, we said, don't tell us how you rig a popping cork. Tell us how Abel rigs a popping
Come on.
cork.
Facts.
Okay,
Yeah.
so when you're using your popping cork in the tournament day, okay, tournament fishing, I want to know And it's not just for me; it's for everybody out there.
Right.
Okay. Honestly, this way that you rig your popping cork might be special. And if you don't want to give us the secret, I understand. But
No.
we still have to find the fish. We still have to go out
Right,
there and find the
right.
fish. All right. So are you using this popping cork with like a 2-foot leader, 1-foot leader, 3-foot leader? And are you using it in choke points, along grass lines, in deeper rivers? Where
Can you drop pins, please?
No, honestly,
Hold on.
Latitude
Before
and
you
longitude.
answer that,
yeah.
I know you rig your popping cork, but you have a custom popping cork rod, don't you?
Oh, I definitely do.
And who made that custom popping
Turner
cork rod?
custom
Turner
rods,
Rod.
man.
Turner Rod Co.
I wonder who that guy is.
Supply
Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
cork.
You hear that, right?
Popping cork Zuniga.
No, but believe it or not, it's not just as simple as popping a cork. I mean, I'm paying attention to the tides. I'm paying attention to the water levels where I'm fishing, and I'm adjusting my leader according to the areas that I'm fishing.
How often are you adjusting, and how can you tell when to adjust?
I mean, when we get out, I mean, you can never exactly tell what the tide is until you get out there.
Yep.
So, I'll start with, say, an 18-inch leader, and then depending on the tide, I'll shorten it up or I'll retie and make a longer one. I mean,
Yeah.
it's simple enough, but it makes a huge
It
difference
really
once
does.
you get out there.
Sure.
I mean, there's plenty of times I'm fishing and he's caught some fish or vice versa, right? I'm
Yeah.
like, what's your leader length? And he's like, oh, I'm about 18 inches where I'm at 12, and he's hooking up because they're deeper, right? Maybe we're fishing a deeper water column and they're not able to see mine.
6 inches matters.
Yeah, it does. Hey, but he's laughed at me. We're fishing in shallow water, and I'll
Yeah.
cut that thing down to 6-8 inches, man, and I'm still popping it right there in shallow water. And
I'm right there
That's
with
what I
you. dude.
like. That's
Yeah,
what I like.
I'm telling you, bro. I mean, people laugh at it, but hey,
It
it
produces.
No,
produces.
I'm right there with you, because you know what? There's going to be this redfish that's sitting there that probably ate pretty good earlier in the day,
Right.
and his belly's full, and he's just kind of sitting there letting it digest, and you just want to piss him off
Right.
just to get him to eat. It's a
Right.
reaction strike. So don't ever give up on it.
I'll
Change.
tell you what.
Tell me what.
Hey, we had one incident where we were both cruising along the shoreline, right? And we see this big old redfish, man. It just blows up on the
Oh, yeah.
grass, and we're like, "Oh man, you see that?" So I let him cast twice with his plastic, working it.
And
Trying
you're
to
like,
finesse
let
it,
me get my dinner bell out.
trying
Oh,
to
yeah.
finesse it. I mean, he was working it. And I said, "Man, okay, let me give it a shot." I threw that popping cork over there, and within a couple
I
of
mean-
seconds, it was on.
It's what you
And-
don't do. You sight cast with a popping cork? Come on. But it worked.
It worked.
Well-
and we won. Hey, and we actually won that tournament
We did.
because of that
You
fish.
beat me, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the one, but
No, that wasn't the one.
So Ryan, I want you to jump in after
Oh.
Abel answers this question.
Okay, good.
Abel, when do you decide to change links? Like how many pops are you giving that popping cork before you change
it's
links?
really not about the pop.
And
Well-
Ryan, I want to know how long are you throwing like a jackhammer before you're
Ah,
switching over to something else?
Okay.
But
So
how many pops are you popping? Are you like 20 pops? All right.
I think
You gotta
we
drop
start
it
off
6
looking at the
inches.
tides, and so if we get out there and it's a little bit off from what I expected, then I'm adjusting. If you throw that popping cork out there and it's leaning,
Yeah.
and it's not sitting, it's not up straight upright, and you can't pop it correctly, then I'm shortening it up. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
because you know that if it's leaning, that
It's-
the lure's sitting on the bottom and
it's not
it's not
the
pulling
action's
it,
not
weighting
there.
it down. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's when I adjust.
When the popping cork hits the water, it should be bouncing up and down a little bit.
It should
If you
immediately
throw
go
it
up
and
right
it
down.
goes on its side,
It's
you need to
funny. It's
shorten it
funny.
up.
A lot of people don't pay attention to that, but I mean, those little things.
You gotta
make a
have the
huge
good
difference.
Yeah.
So
And somebody asked, what preferred popping cork does everyone use?
We keep going
these
back
days,
and forth.
These days,
I-
there's kind of like a hot cork, okay?
Yeah.
And honestly,
Yeah.
Four Horsemen is the hot cork, and I've
one I
used a
like.
lot of different ones. Speckinator. I've
Yeah.
used, I still love the Paradise Popper.
So we both love the Paradise Popper. The action of it is
I like
awesome.
the sound, the crisp sound of it, the brass beads.
And then the chug.
The
So it's
chug.
got that concave top, so it chugs the water perfectly, right?
Right.
Only
you blow them
issue-
out after 3 months.
That's the thing. The only
gotta
issue I
constantly
have, I've lost
replace
fish.
them.
I've had it break apart at the
Yeah, they'll
The
blow out
connection.
pretty quick.
yeah. So the alternative, and I think it's a good alternative, is Four Horsemen.
Four Horsemen.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
they're
really good.
tough, man. They're real
Yeah.
tough.
Ryan is watching us fanboy over popping corks.
He's like, yeah.
He's
I
just
mean,
like, it is
bobber.
like, man, you guys love popping corks.
only corks I'm popping is out of a wine bottle, son. That's I don't know
There you
nothing about any of this.
Pop it. Now, Ryan, when are you changing baits? How long are you giving? You got your 4 rods. You know what you're doing. One of those rods aren't working. How long are you giving it?
So you brought up a chatterbait, and that's probably my favorite go-to bait. I don't. It's rare that I put down a chatterbait, especially fishing around grass. But that it's kind of dependent on where I'm at. So today I started out fishing flats with some grass. I threw the chatterbait quite a bit, didn't get bit, and I probably gave it 2 hours. And I switched to a spinnerbait, just a little different profile, a Colorado blade, so it had a good thump to it. I didn't get bit on that, so I determined there were no fish there. So I got back in the truck and left. I went to a river section where I was throwing a single swim bait and a crankbait. I wasn't getting bit on the single swim bait, but I was getting bit on the crankbait. But I usually give them about an hour to 2 hours. And I always, especially pre-fishing, I use a moving bait for a search bait. If I get short strikes or they're missing it, I'll go back in with something slow, a soft plastic on the bottom, whether it's a jig or a shaky head worm or something. I'll go back in and slow it down, and you can usually pick those fish apart that are either they're conditioned to the moving bait or they're short striking the moving bait.
Nice. I don't have a follow up. That was a great answer.
Let me ask you
No
a question.
follow up question. You answered it completely.
Dude,
you didn't
this
ramble on
guy
about
is just
a
money, bro.
chatterbait for 20 minutes.
Where'd y'all find this guy?
We follow the big checks, man.
The big check.
Follow the big
Yeah.
checks, huh?
Guys, if you're tuned in right now and you missed it earlier, shame on you. But we are doing a giveaway, a pin dry bag, a little bucket of gulp, some koozies. All you have to do is leave a comment, but it has to be during this live version.
Hey, we're gonna up the ante.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
we must have got a text message from somebody.
No, I just I'm gonna add this in right quick. Since this is the first episode from the Bait Butler Mobile Studio, we're gonna get some goodies from Mark and Tina. They've already got us some shirts. They got us some hats and things like that, buffs. And we're gonna throw that in, man. Maybe even get them a Bait Butler. What would you tell me? Hold on. What is that? What does this mean?
He said peace.
I was saying,
Peace.
let's give the bro staff 2 giveaways.
Nice.
We're gonna do 2 giveaways.
2 giveaways
So one pin and
one bait butler.
and one Bait Butler. Sounds good to me.
Nice.
2 to give away. We've always got stuff to give away, guys. I promise you. Drew's closet's full of shit. We ain't gonna talk about your dresses, bro, or your high heels.
Dude, don't
I'm
bring
talking
up
about the nightstand.
Don't- look, it's a filing cabinet and it's got a lock. That may or may not be true. Mr. Lambert,
Oh boy.
pre-tournament routine, rituals. You have a checklist,
Here we go.
Is there
the
a
good
certain-
stuff.
a certain number of Western Sun vodkas that you're drinking. You always look around that you're hungover.
It's not a
Right
joke.
before the
I
camera.
like to.
How true is it?
It's 1,000, probably 10,000% true. I don't think there could be a more true statement. I like when we're all in town for a tournament, I try to get everybody together and we go, we'll pick a little dive bar or restaurant or whatever, and we'll hang out like every night of the tournament. And that's what we do. We'll hang out till they make us go home. And then and then I'll wake up in a bad mood the next day and get my stuff halfway together and go fish. I don't really have like a any kind of set routine or anything. All my junk is just thrown in the back of my truck. It's a mess. I grab a little black plastic bag full of whatever baits I'm going to use and
You
see
stop
where
at the
cards fall,
Walmart.
man.
Get that.
I mean,
Abu-
there's not any rhyme or reason to it. I mean, but I try to have a good time wherever we're at. That's my goal, is to have a good time. So that way, if I don't catch fish, it wasn't a complete waste.
right.
I'd like to say that I fish like that too. Okay, I just have a hodgepodge of shit that I just grab and go. But I got to be honest, man. The night before, I'm checking my braid. I'm rigging up at least 3 or 4 rods. So I know I'm going to use this top water. The popping cork's always ready to
It's a
go.
staple.
I'm a crankbait fool, man. I love crankbaits. So I've got a couple crankbaits if I'm going to, be fishing a little bit deeper water. If I'm going to fish over the top with the
Square
crankbait.
bulls?
I love the square bull, man. I just
Those are
got
the
to change the
sharpest hooks
Well,
ever.
well,
They will
you got
find your thumb or your finger.
yeah, they will, but they don't last that long because they are freshwater hooks. So in the salt, they don't last that long. I do change them out. But for me, my routine is always a Bucky stop. Gotta have a Bucky stop.
That's definitely been.
That's
It's 2 things that are happening at Bucky's.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, drink and a snack,
Yeah.
and a purge.
Oh yeah.
The 2 things are happening at Bucky's.
So I did leave out a key to my tournament ritual. I do find it doesn't have to be a Bucky's, but a gas station I have to get a White Monster and a Twinkie. If I have those 2 things, I can survive the rest of the day.
So mine is also a White Monster, and it's got to be the big can, okay?
Oh,
Because
for sure.
it serves a purpose later on in the day. And then and then the Hostess chocolate donuts, man.
Okay, all right, respectable.
Ben and Abel, y'all got anything? Any routines? Anything that you do? Are you have a checklist of equipment?
I mean, it's kind of the same checklist you're going fishing just any other day, just with an addition of a live well, right? So I don't.
go ahead.
You guys, was I on mute?
Crispy.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
I was taking myself out, man.
That was tricky.
No, what I was saying is I don't know if it's a.
Oh, I
routine
got
that-
the audio. I kept wondering,
Chris.
why am I always on screen, man? Nobody wants to look at my face the whole time.
I'm blaming Rico over there, and you're
I tell you
taking
what,
yourself.
I'm
out.
gonna give y'all a break from my face. I gotta.
Yeah, get out.
Okay, finish your
Anyway,
thought.
What I was saying, I don't know if it's much different of a routine that I would do just normally fishing, right? Just the addition is we're taking a live well. I have a live well for the truck, and then what Abel recently designed was a live well that we carry on our kayaks now. So I think it was Matt Murphy asked about live wells, or maybe it was somebody else. But we've noticed, like in the summertime, them fish wouldn't last as long because that water gets real warm, right? So we were talking about taking live wells on the kayak, and Abel came up with a pretty good design, and it's been working with it for us. So we've been using that a lot on the kayaks, and then transferring that from the live well we had on our kayak to a live well we had on the truck. But anyway, so the routine, it's not much different, just addition to taking live wells and preparing for things like that. But the staple are the rods that we take. I think Chris was talking about taking 3 or 4 rods. I think you're about the same, Abel, but I usually popping cork, top water, which is my favorite, and then I'll have a soft plastic of some sort on a jig head, right? Right. You always want to be able to cast at something quickly. So
Now, Abel, before you guys use the live wells,
Yeah.
how are you managing your fish? Because I was in a conversation earlier today where a gentleman was asking me, did I think it was ethical to use a stakeout pole after catching a fish, staking him out in the marsh?
The hell's
and then
wrong with
coming
that?
Back to it.
it's probably more ethical than, well, let Abel answer that, but then dragging them around.
Yeah. So before the live wells, were you guys using cullable stringers? What were
Yeah.
you guys using?
Yeah, so basically, anything that was worth keeping, we were putting them in the live well. I set one up for him, one for me, and like that, we were putting some
The
keepers
Hobie
in
life,
there.
baby.
What's that?
The Hobie life.
That's right.
Yeah, So we were putting some G juice in there, keeping them comfortable. And I'll tell you what, man, I mean, that made a huge
It made
difference.
a
They
big
come out
difference.
like, wow.
I mean,
Oh,
you take them
dude.
you take them to the live weigh-in. I mean, they're flopping all over the place. I mean, the guy can't even hold them down. I mean, it's made a huge
It
difference.
works. It works.
But carrying them around all day on a stringer, man, it was tough, especially summertime. I mean,
We would kill some fish, unfortunately.
there was I mean, the bigger fish for some reason just never lasted.
You
on the
have a
stringer.
a bubbler or an aerator, a circulator.
Both.
Both?
Yeah.
On our trucks.
Oh no,
whenever we take them
in the kayak, we just have the bubbler.
Just the bubbler.
Yeah, but
Just the
whenever we
bubbler.
So
transfer it to the
I've
truck,
noticed that the circulator,
Yeah.
really kicks things into
Oh, yeah.
high gear, man.
Well, see, when we transfer them to the truck, we have
Yep.
the circulator.
Yeah.
And so by the time we get to the weigh-in, I mean, they're just like
you can't even get them out of the damn.
yeah.
Oh yeah, you grab them and they just like
got a death grip them.
they're trying to kill you. You know what I mean?
So,
So
pro
it's-
tip: get you guys a live well that uses both a bubbler and
The circulation
circulation,
pump.
but circulation is top, man.
and the bubbler.
G-juice.
The ones
I've
set
got
up,
one
I
of those
have
long
both.
stones.
Yeah.
What about O2? Is it just too
So-
much to mess with the oxygen systems and
For
stuff?
Yeah.
redfish, I don't think it's necessary, but maybe like for a trout tournament.
Yeah, maybe
probably.
for trout.
It's a lot to mess with too. Like you
not
got to make sure
necessary.
that your O2 tank is
Right.
full. You can't just fill it up yourself, bro. You got to go somewhere
Yeah.
to fill it up.
I mean, it definitely works. It's not
Sure.
no knock against it.
oh, regulators too. You got to make sure your regulators are working
Right.
properly all the time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's some maintenance there. If your circulator stops working, just go to Academy. It's a $16.99.
Right.
Grab another one.
Mhm.
So I want to preface this question first. Ryan, you guys are doing CPR tournaments, period, all the time. It doesn't matter.
Correct.
It's too for me. It's too early to tell with this recent freeze and everything that went on. But do you guys feel like saltwater redfish tournaments are going to go more towards CPR tournaments? And do you like CPR tournaments? Because I don't really love them for slot fish tournaments.
So, to answer your first question, do I think it's going to happen? Yes. Now, is it going to happen all across the coast? I don't know, but it's definitely going to happen. I think some tournaments are going to go to a CPR type of weigh-in, right? Do I like it? If the metrics and the statistics come out that we've had a really bad freeze that endangered our redfish and trout, et cetera, and it can help the conservation of these species, then okay, I'm for it, right? I think it's the right thing to do, right? Do I like it? No, I'd rather take redfish to a weigh-in. It's more fun, right? You get to hold the fish.
Well,
release them.
not all 27-inch fish are
Yeah.
built the same.
Right.
There could be a pound difference between 27-inch fish.
So what's the point of doing slot CPR tournaments? Like the point of doing slot tournaments anyway is kind of the preservation of the species. If you're doing a tournament that's CPR, it's already for the preservation of the species. So why not, measure these freaking monster bulls and do a tournament that way? I don't understand. It's almost like having a rev limiter. It's like NASCAR. Like, okay, all the cars can go this speed. Like, why do it on a slot tournament?
Traditional tournaments in Texas are two redfish, two
Live weigh-in.
live redfish, 20
Yeah, right.
to 28 inches, right?
Yep.
So, but I see your point. If we're going to move to a CPR type event, yeah, I'm all for having just a 20, or it really don't matter.
Well, you're almost capped. Like if everybody catches their max length of fish, like who wins? You arm wrestle, poke each other in the eye. What do you do?
Exactly. Well, according to some of the CPR tournaments, it's never going to happen. But the first month that they had the tournament, it happened 3 times.
Well, so you have to look at somebody that says it's never going to happen. Have they ever ran a tournament like that before? That should
That-
also be a caveat.
Nothing but over, baby.
Now, I talked to Alex Elman the other day.
Uh-oh.
We had this conversation. it should be every
Alabama.
tournament going forward. I think it would be an awesome format for CPR redfish is to do like he called it a drag burner. As many redfish as you can catch over 20 inches, and you just take a picture,
Yeah.
and whoever has the max length, if you catch 12 20-inch fish, you could win.
So that's like
You
MLF
just-
format for redfish.
Yeah, just keep on catching until you can't catch redfish no
You can't
more,
catch 'em
as
anymore.
long as they're legal.
They have that. The elite has a series like that, but it's not in kayak fishing. Okay, and
Yeah.
you do have to have a weighmaster on board on your boat.
To
What-
verify everything.
Yeah, you have to have a certified weighmaster on board on your boat, and it's hard to do that in the kayak world. Okay, like right now, we talked about this earlier. There's a new series out there called the Drag Burner,
Okay.
where kayaks are allowed, and it's all catch and release, and you have to live video the catch, and you're only allowed to weigh your catch on that specific gear that they give you, but man, it's going to be hard for kayakers.
hard.
That's going to
because-
be hard.
Well, that's why you go by length.
Well, not everybody has a photographer or personal photographer over here.
Have you
The video.
seen some of these bass pictures, Ryan?
Well, how
You
is
can chime in
KSS
here.
doing? Does
I mean,
anybody know?
So our board that we use is 26 inches long, and one of the guys fishing the Lake Murray tournament last weekend caught a 25 3/4 inch bass that literally, I mean, it was 11 and a half pounds, took up the entire measuring board. So even that is getting close to like, do you need to go buy a bigger board? Like, where's the cutoff?
Catch boards? Is that what they're called?
Yeah, my
Yeah, the
board
catch boards, yeah.
Oh man, I want one of those, but they're only 26.
I've got
Well,
the new-
so I think they make a 30-inch version now, but I mean, I still see your point. Like, if you're going to be measuring bull reds, then that doesn't matter anyway.
well, I think the only event that you're measuring bull reds is in
Ride the bull.
No, not ride the bull,
Well, cats did it.
not cats. IFA.
IFA, yeah.
IFA is the only event where you're consistently measuring.
I think
bull.
cats did it as well, though. But yeah.
Well,
There's
what
a
would you
couple.
guys think if you could only, lengthen a 32-inch redfish? That counts as your one bull. The rest of them between 20 and 28, you can catch as many as you want. Would you participate in that tournament?
Sure.
You just have to
Sure,
do
yeah.
catch, photo, release.
So I can get into a mess of dinks and just sit there and just rack it up.
20. 20
20,
inches. As long as
20.
they're 20 inches, you can catch 10 of those things.
Man, I know where 50 of them are right now.
Let's go.
Now, do you think that makes you a better fisherman, or do you think that makes you an elite fisherman if you would win a tournament like that?
No.
And why is that? If you're
Um,
catching the most fish,
I mean, I
length
think there's
out
some
of
skill to
everybody.
catching a lot of fish, though.
I don't think winning one tournament makes you an elite anything.
I agree with that.
True.
well, true.
Facts.
But I'm just saying, like, would
Consistency
you respect
counts, right?
the guy that won that tournament?
Oh, for sure.
Well,
if
yeah.
you were in the tournament, you better respect him because he beat you.
Yeah.
If you're sitting on the couch, you might not respect him, but if you're fishing it, you better respect him.
there might be a couple of people out there.
But there's
No.
a thing. There's a thing to catch quality fish consistently
Yeah.
Yes.
and win tournaments based on that.
So,
You know what I mean?
okay, you've heard me talk a lot about juvenile redfish. Okay, well, all of them in the Marshall juveniles, right? But I'm talking about the school-aged little bastards that are climbing all over each other to get to that one shrimp that's up there in front that's trying to run away, right? Those guys are always like around 4 pounds. They're 24 inches, and you can catch bunches of those, man.
Yeah.
All you got to do is find the grass line that's producing those schools.
But you still worked to find
Sure, but it is really hard to work and find that
the quality.
redfish that's 9.5 pounds, 10 pounds
Yeah.
that fits inside the slot.
And
That's a
find
lot
it
of work.
consistently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
lot of work, dude. That's more work than finding the schools.
Yeah, but if you can find that school of those bigger fish,
Oh,
you should be able to find the.
it's money,
school.
bro. It's money,
the
bro.
little
We've been
fish.
there before, man.
You just have to change your strategy.
Yeah,
Those are
that's what
open
it's
water
about. Change your
schools.
strategy.
Honestly, guys, if you're listening to this, the open water schools have the big some guns, man, running around
for sure.
inside of them.
Yeah.
The ones on the grass lines are those school kids that are running to the snack truck, whatever, man. They busting their teeth.
Busting their teeth.
Teeth busting. Teeth busting. Well, let's wrap this up. I got 2 more questions for everybody. They're back-to-back questions.
Uh-oh.
Chris, what is the best part about tournament fishing? Well, let's go the other way. What is the worst part about tournament fishing? And what is the best part about tournament fishing? He said he read the outline
read
for
the
this,
first
and
one.
this was the last question on there. And I don't know if he got
I don't
that
think
far.
I made it to this question either.
So who wants to answer first? Who wants to go first?
Chris, because that's who I asked.
I think he just called on you. I don't know.
So the worst thing about tournament fishing,
Not catching no damn fish.
yeah, man, I've got to say, going zero on a
Skunk.
tournament day, man, is
Yeah.
pretty humbling, man. And it's a bad feeling, but you could learn from it. I mean, for sure. But the best thing about, show up, guys. Even if you blank, go to weigh in.
Yeah.
Okay, go to weigh in. Even if you don't have anything to weigh in, because you know what? Oftentimes that's where you're going to meet some really great people, some quality people. Don't just hang your head and go home. The best part of tournament fishing is honestly, I've met so many quality people. A lot of really great people. Fishing tournaments, like I said earlier, it's akin to the camaraderie that you experienced playing football in high school. It's not the same. It's not exactly the same.
Right.
You're not towel popping people through the hallway, as they're coming out of the shower. That kind
Oh
of thing.
yeah.
If that happens
you can if you want.
at a fishing at a tournament,
I'm still slapping people on that.
Yeah.
Game.
Good game, bro.
The redfish
So-
there, bud.
but yeah, man, I've met some really cool people. Now they don't always remember me after we hang out. I mean, because some of them honestly are in their 70s around this coast. You know what I'm talking about, man. Team Silver Alert. They're out there.
Team Silver Alert.
They still lurking.
They show up in a Buick LeSabre.
Bro.
Yes.
Gold, Buick LeSabre.
Yes.
That was bringing them
Anyway,
cookies. though.
okay. Next guy.
Abel, worst part, best part.
Yeah, worst part, man, is just when you're planning it out for the whole week previous, you know what I mean, and you just think you got your game plan.
And you catch a mullet.
Yeah, you yeah, exactly. But no, man, when you spend all that time prepping and planning and like, man, I got my game plan down and I'm ready to go, and you zero out, you know what I mean? You skunk, and
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, man. I mean, showing up to the tournaments, like you said, man. I mean, that really makes a difference on those days. You know what I mean? Just showing up, being
For
a
sure.
part of it. Yeah, I mean, you quickly get over it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It does help. Yeah.
It does
helps.
help.
Sometimes there's
it
free
helps
beer,
Big
so-
time. I mean,
Raffles.
I mean, there's
Raffles?
there's been a huge amount of times where it didn't turn out the way I wanted it, but I still showed up,
Yeah.
and man, it made a world of difference. You know what I'm saying? So I can't. I mean, there's some bad days, but it don't have to be that bad. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Ryan, what about you, man?
The worst part is probably
You
not
never let
being-
Abel finish.
He
No,
did finish. He was
What
done.
about you? Didn't
Oh, you
ask him
gave
about
me
the best.
that
It was a
wink.
2-part
He was
question.
Best time?
What's the best?
Oh, I didn't. Oh,
Oh, the best time
Sorry.
is holding up them big old checks in front
So-
of everybody.
disrespect.
Yeah,
I
the
got
big
you.
check.
Disrespect.
Much money right there,
Now
you
the
know?
crazy
Come
thing
on now,
is,
come
though,
on.
we've never been able
I'm
to hold one of them $30,000 checks.
Oh yeah,
though.
no, we're not on Ryan's level.
I thought he was talking
Shoot.
about the camaraderie of the weigh-ins was the best part.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
that's exactly what. Yeah,
Okay, that's why I was going on to
Yeah,
lunch
yeah,
money
yeah.
over there.
that and the big
Good
checks.
save there, Drew.
Y'all are wild. Y'all are wild.
That's
out
when I
here.
went on to lunch money. All right, lunch money. Let's talk about popping corks for a second.
Yeah. Are we good now? Everybody good? The worst part for me is not being able to adjust during the tournament. So most of our events are two-day events, and a lot of times conditions change, a cold front will come through, whatever. Not being able to adjust and figure those fish out, especially if you have a really good day one and just falling on your face day two, it's kind of embarrassing, number one, because you got, your friends and people at home like following along and texting you like, hey, are you going to submit your fish? It's like, I ain't got no damn fish. Like, of course I would submit them. If I had them, I don't have any. Like, that sucks.
Like, no, not saying
Well,
that.
it's like you didn't just let yourself down. You've let all these people down that are trying to, watch you do something good. But the best part, it's not necessarily the winning part, but we have like a core group that we travel with. I'd say probably 16 people overall that go all around the country and fish these big tournaments, and we all try to hang out and, do dinners, and we'll rent, big lake houses or whatever and stay together. Just the shenanigans, the stupid stuff that happens that nobody ever needs to hear about or believe, like that stuff. That's what makes it all worth it. That's why we all keep throwing our money away. We'll piss away $1,200 a weekend to go out and hang out with these guys, even if we think we have no chance at winning. That's what the tournaments are about.
Here's what's crazy, though. You guys are traveling long distances to fish a lot of these tournaments, right? They're not just in your backyard.
Correct.
Yeah. So I feel the same way that he does whenever I go fish these Florida tournaments. I'll take 5-6 guys from Texas. There's, 5 or 6 guys from Alabama and Tennessee that'll go down. Then we got like 5 or 6 guys that live in Florida that come with us. There's like 2 guys from Georgia. We all meet up, rent these badass houses, and we do 4 days of nothing but crazy ass shit, man.
Yes.
Drinking, eating awesome food, spending way more money than you really wanted to.
Yeah.
And fishing for 2 full days. Yeah.
Yep.
That's a big difference between them and bass fishermen and red fishermen, right? They got all this real estate, these lakes all across the country, right? Tournaments everywhere, so they can travel, get hotels. We're really limited to the Texas and Louisiana coast for redfish, right?
I have invited y'all so many times.
I'm talking
to
about
do these
tournaments.
crazy travels with me, man. They're out there, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
This particular
But
tournament
still,
in
we're
Florida,
limited to the coast.
yeah, it's still on the coast.
Yeah.
Well,
Have y'all looked at the country? The coast is like pretty substantial if you look around
it
the
is.
coast.
Well, okay,
It goes all the way around the continent. It's crazy.
I was about to bring that up, man. I was about to bring up.
I got like 20 little lakes in the middle. You got the whole damn ocean. You're like, these bass fishing guys are really lucky. They got
all this real estate. We got like the whole freaking Gulf of Mexico, bro.
man.
But Ryan, here's the deal. These guys don't travel. Not a lot of guys travel.
Yeah, it's like, wait, man, tournament in Corpus, dude. I think I'm busy that weekend.
Exactly. Corpus guys don't go to Houston tournaments. Houston guys don't go to Corpus tournaments.
Some of them do.
I love doing it. I have
there's
gotten
not a
up
whole lot.
at 3 a.m. and driven my butt all the way to Corpus, fished a tournament, and I fished this one with, oh gosh, man, who's the feel free guy?
Mike McKinstry.
No, not Mike. For ACK,
Mr. Filthy.
Justin
Justin.
Styles. Okay, went out there, fished a tournament with Justin, blanked, and drove back after weigh-in at like 9 p.m. Dude.
Oh my god.
What did that teach you? Don't fish with a feel free guy.
Hey, they got some strong shoulders.
Bro, I was like, and he had one with a drive, and I was like, you didn't bring your drive? He's like, no, I don't like it.
Da-dunch.
Hate to have it in one of those.
Huh?
I'm just saying, you gotta hate that drive not to have it in a.
Well, he says he prefers to paddle, man. Not necessarily that he didn't like the drive. I mean, he probably loves the drive. It's a feel-free drive. I'm sorry. But
sorry, feel free.
It's just
feel free if you're listening. We are very.
Man, I'm
very
digging a
sorry.
hole, dude.
Y'all blame that one on me. Put that one on my tab. I'll take it.
Ryan was talking about feel free, and Chris was just following along.
That's my fault.
Justin, I love you, bro. You're my homie.
Now, Ben, before I ask you I want to give the listeners that are watching this the last chance. Start putting your comments in, guys, because we're going to end this soon. We're live here at ACK. We're in the Bait Butler Studio. Mobile studio. Chris and I really want to thank Abu Garcia, Berkeley, Ugly Stick, Penn, Real Sportswear, ACK, and the Bait Butler for letting us do this. And I really hope you guys enjoy what's going on tonight. It was very frustrating getting this going.
Oh my gosh.
But now that we've started,
We know exactly what was wrong now.
but how fun
How
fun has this been?
Oh, it's a good time.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
I want to give you guys a shout out. This is the longest podcast I've ever been on. Counting prep time, we're over 3 hours right now. So I just want to thank you for letting me be a part of this marathon. I feel like I'm on the old Howard Stern show or something.
Oh my God.
I'll take that as a compliment.
For real. For real.
That's great. Yeah.
Hey, but ain't nobody got naked yet.
Hey, bring out Beetlejuice and let's get out of here.
Rico's behind the
Rico's
camera.
behind the scenes. You gotta
Hey,
see him.
since you guys haven't, we got. I can't do it
Here,
because
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Where's
I'll
he
do
at?
it. There we go. Rico, say what's up, Rico. Special thank you to Rico for manning the fort here. He ordered the pizza. He
It's his
showed
first
around.
producer
Listen,
gig.
Andrew or Carlos, if you're listening, the man was working late, selling kayaks. Would
He
not
really
let
was.
us attempt to start the show until this customer was gone and had all the information that he needed.
and he's
Pretty
coming
good
back
damn
to buy
customer
that
service, if I
Predator,
tell
right?
you. Oh yeah,
He's coming back.
Yep.
that's customer service right there.
There you go.
The dude wants to fish offshore. Predator is the way to go, man.
Fair enough.
There you go. Anything
got,
else
Drew?
before asking this last question? And we
I don't know, man. You look hungry and tired.
I'm tired. I am tired.
Oh, man.
All right, Ben. Worst thing about tournament and best thing.
Damn, we
about
still haven't
tournaments.
finished this.
I got to echo what the guy said, man. I mean, skunking on tournament.
Don't
day.
say echo.
Echo.
Don't say digitize. Don't say any of that.
It's like rain on a tin roof.
I mean, when you're fishing, and I think everybody's had these days, right? When you're fishing a tournament, 8 o'clock, oh, I got plenty of time. 9 o'clock, oh, there's a lot of time. 10 o'clock, yeah, we still got a lot of time. 12 o'clock, all right, we got to hurry. We got to catch some fish. 1 o'clock, oh, damn it, man. And you're just casting, burning that shoreline, working that lure, and man, you come up with that skunk.
Have you ever been like, dude, we got to pick up and go somewhere else?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we have, but I hate to do it, to be honest with you. I
Right.
know a lot
It's-
of the best tournament anglers will fish and they'll know if there's fish there or not, right? And I think my fault on occasion is that I'll
Is
continue
grinding
to
an
work
area
it,
too long?
grinding it and hoping that the tidal shift will bring those fish back in. And sometimes it works. I mean, what was that tournament we fished? We didn't have anything. It was the 11th
It was the
hour.
Rudy's
And
Galveston
we
tournament.
went. And all of a
Abel's
sudden-
eyes just got really big. He's
Yeah.
like,
We-
I
we
know
won it.
exactly what's happening.
That's
Hey.
okay. That's the one, guys. That was the one time I let my emotions get a hold of me, and I had
Oh,
a
yeah.
bad tournament day. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's because Ben lied to me. He
No,
said
I like you.
he said he
like
said
you.
they didn't have we might have 11 pounds.
Oh, come on. You know,
They-
everybody does that.
They weighed in like 16 something. I'm like, you guys lied to me. I'm out of the group. Delete. No, that was Galveston.
That was at the Yaw Basin, Galveston
Yaw
Yaw
Basin.
Basin. But man, we didn't catch any
Yep.
fish, any keepers until 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
And we were, I don't want to give too much away. We weren't,
Yeah.
we weren't too close to the weigh-in. So we had to leave like 30 minutes later, right? Or an hour maybe.
Right. Yeah, we told ourselves that we got to leave in 30 minutes,
We
or
were
I
already
mean,
heading back.
And y'all caught your fish at the right
Oh,
there.
did
boom,
we?
boom.
He caught one fish and it was an over and it was on an incoming tide. And we're like, damn, I wonder
Hey.
if those fish.
I threw the popping cork in front of me. It took off behind me, and we're like, let's keep following it. Let's go.
Sure enough, boom, boom.
We
boom,
followed that
boom.
fish back into the
Persistence
marsh.
sometimes does pay off, man.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
So the best thing about tournament fishing,
Winning a tournament.
winning a
Come on.
tournament.
I don't know if it gets any better than that on tournament day. bringing in
I
those two.
I can honestly say, guys, there's probably not a lot of people out there that will say they don't care about winning checks.
Everybody.
Everybody cares about winning checks.
If you sign up, you want that big
Yeah,
ass check.
yeah.
But I will say though that it is cool seeing all your friends in the fishing game, right? Chatting with them, bullshitting with them, eating their wife's cookies that they brought to the
Eating their
tournament.
wife's cookies. That
Right
sounds
enough.
just really
Wow.
bad.
Not better not be
But
none of my wife's cookies.
On that note,
Ever.
I think that's why no bass fishermen bring their wives to the weigh-ins. That's probably smart. Very strategic move.
camaraderie.
Nah, we ain't that cool. Y'all ain't even none of that.
Wow.
crying over here, man.
We all
Shout out to Charlie Mel.
we all know who we're talking about.
dude, on
But
that,
it
it
did come
just
out.
sounds so.
Whose wife has the best cookies?
What you gonna say back there?
And we're done.
It's
Ryan
Team
wants to know-
Silver Alert.
That's right.
Ryan's wife wants to know whose wife has the best cookies.
Team Silver Alert, man.
Team Silver Alert.
That's that old fashioned recipe.
They've got the
Yeah.
old fashioned recipe, bro. There's, I mean, she must
Oatmeal
call
raisin
them.
cookies.
She must call them cookies the kitchen sink because they got everything in them.
Oh
man.
yeah.
Like the old school Coca-Cola with the real cocaine in it?
Yeah, like that.
Our heaviest weight
Oh
was
god.
19
So-
pounds. I think. No.
So what, man?
Well, no, I was just gonna say I like this comment. I say you guys go another 3 hours, get a white monster, puke and
Oh.
rally.
No way, man.
No.
No, no. All right, biggest tournament weights for you guys. We'll end on that.
Man,
Was it just this? No.
I'd have to say that 20%.
Like combined weight or
No.
biggest weight in red.
Just combined weight or either
Combined
or.
weight.
Combined
Either
weight.
one.
Did we have?
We had
It was-
17 plus on that one tournament where we won the Bonafides.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Wait.
That's right.
Look, hey,
The last one at
Matagorda.
the
Hey,
championship
That's
event,
Matagorda.
y'all had over 17? Because I know y'all had over 17 at the last Rudy's.
We had at the Galveston, didn't we have?
The Matagorda
16,
Rudy's y'all
The
had.
Matagorda Rudy's was
We
in
had 17
2018
plus,
was probably
yeah.
our biggest weight. We had 17 plus, little over 17, but and that's because we had a dead fish. So it would have been
It
like
would have
yeah.
been more.
it would have
Yeah.
been more, but
Yeah.
that was probably our biggest, and that was our biggest win too, because we won some pretty good
Oh,
sized
dude, that
checks,
was
and we won
That
some
was a
kayaks.
championship.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
pretty good. That was a pretty
Roy from
Dude. Roy's bait and tackle.
Roy's
Boys Bait and Tackle. That dude was shelling out like.
Oh
dude.
man, that was an awesome
Two
tournament.
bonafide kayaks plus like $500 in gift cards plus our purse. Dude,
There's a lot that they shelled out.
I was just gonna say that must be nice. I'm asking like, what's y'all's biggest weight, and you can't even remember all the tournaments that you guys have won. You're like,
Yeah.
maybe it was the one where we won the Bonafides, maybe it's the one where we won this, maybe it's the one.
I mean,
we
we
won
had a good
that.
good
Jesus.
run. I'll tell you that, but
yeah,
it's,
it hasn't always been. We had a good run in 2 years ago.
man. There was times where we were 12, 13 pounds every tournament. You
Well,
know
there
what I
was times when me and Abel were fishing together, and those were those are bad tournaments.
Bro,
mean? Yeah.
yeah. Does he catch any fish?
He saved my butt on one tournament, man. He caught one
Really?
fish and we didn't skunk.
We didn't skunk. We
Yeah.
both
so far every time
like,
I've
held my
fished
fish.
with him lately, he's like, man, I just can't find them. But Jessica's over there killing it.
Yeah.
She is. I'm a good teacher.
She's
Yeah,
out there
I'm
killing it.
I'm a better teacher than I am
You know,
a fisherman.
If you ask me that question about biggest weight, I thought that the last Matagorda event was one of our largest bags, and I said, "There's no way anybody's going to come out here and beat this bag unless they've got 17 plus." Guess who showed up with 17 plus?
Them too.
These two guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I said it the whole way to the. I mean, I was like, "We got this. We got this. Nobody's going to come in with 17 plus." Man.
Yeah.
17.
Well, that was
They
that
beat-
was the tournament where we had the LSKS individual tournament
Yes, y'all cleaned up, dude.
and the Rudy's.
So
Oh,
they
yeah.
they won LSKS and
Mr.
Rudy's.
Mr. Angler over the year that day,
Yes.
I think, right?
Yeah.
Oh, what? What?
Got some
Was that
damn
AOI?
good. Got some damn
Yeah,
good redfish anglers over here, guys. Ben and Abel, Babel. They
Babel.
they could turn it out, yo. But my
do, Roy.
largest redfish in the weight in a tournament was what's that bitch, man?
Dementia.
On my bogus, what was crazy is I picked it up and I was like 8.5. Oh crap, we got an 8.5 pound redfish. We bring it in and he goes, boy, do you know how much this fish weighs? And I was like, yeah, it's like 8.5. He goes, no way.
That
He
was
weighs
your
it
win,
and
Derek.
it was like 9.69. I was like,
Ooh.
damn,
Man,
that's a nice fish.
Were they Boga grips or were they
Nah,
1999
I-
Amazon fiber link?
Hey, let me tell you something. They're the forever last. I went home, found out how to calibrate them, and now they're perfect.
Nice.
hey Derek Murphy, you see that comment? I remember that tournament. Hey, we walked up together, and I just got it just ahead of him, man, just to sign in before he did.
Exact weights.
Exact weight.
First
Exact
person that
weight.
weighs in wins.
Were you like power walking really quick?
A little
like the
bit. A
ladies
little
at the
bit. I was
mall?
like,
You're
man,
like,
I
And
might
you know
get-
what's even worse is Derek had the heavier weight, but his fish died, so he had the half-pound deduct.
Yeah.
And he
Well, I got the bonus.
That
what it was.
that is
Oh,
the kicker whenever it comes to live weigh-in, man.
that's right. That's right.
You know,
The
you
first to weigh in.
sometimes kill your fish.
Yep.
So, and all of your events, Ryan, are all CPR, so you never have to worry about killing a fish.
No, I
Well,
wouldn't
most
fish.
people
I wouldn't fish a tournament in Louisiana, down there with the Bayou Coast guys, and they kill all their fish. Every fish them boys catch is dead in the back of the truck. They eating. They ain't worried about this live weigh-in stuff, man.
Can I ask
Exactly.
you this
While they're
question?
Louisiana.
fishing,
If
they're
if
still
you,
cooking up bass. They're like, that's a good one. They put it on the
No,
blink.
I fished that redfish tournament down there, the minimalist tournament they have.
Oh, they don't.
oh
throw it back.
yes, dude. Do you fish that one regularly?
I fished it 2 years ago in February, and it was 34 degrees, and I said, I'm probably never going to go back to Louisiana for this again.
I'm thinking about doing Paddlepalooza in April.
They're having a big one in October. I want to go down and fish it with those guys. I love the Bayou Coast guys. They're a great group of guys. They come fish our bass stuff, the Hobie BOS stuff. So, trying to get a group together to go return the favor and support what they're doing down there.
Let me ask you this, man. So you're bass fishing, you're CPRing, you want to make sure that your fish are returned to the water as lively as possible and able to survive so that you can catch them again. You carry some Mountain Dew on board?
No, I don't. I I usually have a sun drop maybe in the kayak, usually an orange Gatorade, and then the white Monster. But no, I don't carry a Mountain Dew. And as long as you don't gill hook them for the most part, you're in pretty good shape. I don't throw a lot of things with treble hooks. I usually throw single hook baits. So most of the time it's either in the mouth or in the roof of the mouth. So I don't really have too many issues like that come about. Summertime in big boat, I fish big boat tournaments too, but summertime and big boat tournaments, when you release those fish after the weigh-in, you have to get out there and grab them by the tail and work them back and forth to make sure they take off. And even then, sometimes they may only swim off 10 yards and then they're belly up.
Belly up.
Man.
What are you going to do then? Jump in?
I mean, there's nothing you can do. It's usually the stress, the combination of the stress and the oxygen level. But I mean, we'll run ice in our live wells. We'll put the additive into the live wells. But overall, there's so little oxygen in the water, and then you stress those fish out, running them around in a boat, for 5 or 6 hours. There's just not a lot you can do to bring them back.
Now, what is your best total length for a tournament?
My best total in a day, we were talking about the team fishing tournament. My smallmouth bite gets really hot on Guntersville, and I had like 102.5 inches in like 2 hours one morning on Guntersville, just on smallmouth. That's probably that's my best day.
A lot of inches. That's a lot more than Abel's 6-inch or 18-inch or 24-inch that he's talking about.
I'll leave you
It's
to
not
it, man.
always about that, but in tournaments it is.
Well, before we get off of here, is there anybody you guys want to thank? Ben, is there any companies you've been working with? Ron, we talked a little bit before. We'll give you a chance. We got a chance to talk about ACK, Real Sportswear, Boo Garcia, Berkeley, Penn, Bait Butler. What companies support you guys?
ACK is one of them, obviously. Been working with those guys for a few years now, and they've just treated me really well. So definitely got to give them a shout out. Hobie Fishing, been on their fishing team, and it's a really good fishing team. Run really well. They really support their anglers. Really nice team packages. So they've been good to their fishing team. But a company I recently started supporting and working with was Texas Power Paddle. I have a bad back, and the motor industry's really shot up this year, right?
We have not even touched on that in this whole
Yeah,
entire
I know.
podcast or live video. And somebody did ask the question about how we feel about motorized kayaks and
That's another 35
but
minute
that
conversation.
that's going to be.
dude.
I'm sorry we couldn't get to that, but it
I
would
saw that
take us
question.
in a whole nother direction, and we can't really. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll do an entire episode on that
Yeah.
one day.
Yeah, but yeah, really good company, Texas company. So really support those guys. They've done some really good things with motors. But, that's about it.
That's very sweet of you, Raul.
What did Raul say?
Who's the better fisherman between the pros you have there?
Oh my God.
Oh, I thought you were saying I am the better fisherman.
Oh,
I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Now, Abel, I know you are more of a laid back guy. You don't do a lot of social media stuff.
right.
You don't really care for the pro staff. You don't care for that kind of stuff.
Right.
But I'm just gonna throw this.
He is
out
wearing
there.
an ACK hat though.
I see.
He is wearing the ACK hat. I know he's
Hey,
supports
Rico,
ACK.
come on, man.
But you being Abel popping cork Zuniga, I'm just
We got to
throwing
get
it
him a
out there.
sponsorship from. Hey,
Four Horsemen.
Four Horsemen. Call him. Pay him a
No.
check.
No, I'm offering right now the very
Oh.
first pro staff.
Oh,
okay.
Very first pro
Oh.
staff for Turner Rock Coat.
There you go. I'll take it.
There we go.
Yes!
Nice. There we
I
go.
accept.
You guys are gonna
I accept.
see popping cork rod in his hands,
There you go.
and he's gonna talk about it at these tournaments. I'm
Please call it the Babel.
I will put the Babel on there. I'm not going to
Oh,
release
man.
the name yet because
Come
I
on,
think the name of it is probably the best name for a fishing rod ever.
Yeah.
But it's
Damn,
gonna be
he's
out soon.
confident.
It's going to be out soon.
I like
good.
popping corks too.
I'm in, man. I'm in.
All right. Now you got to say that I'm supported by Turner Rod.
I'm supporting Turner Rod Company.
There you go.
All right.
Pro staff
There
guys.
we go.
There you go.
Ryan, what about you, man?
Z-Man, that I throw mostly Z-Man products all together, from a chatterbait to Ned Rig. I love their Elastec products. Plano Fishing, the Dugout Bait and Tackle. That's a big tackle shop in the Southeast, and they recently started selling Hobie kayaks this past year, and Jamie just blew the roof off of it, man. I think all said and done, he's like the third largest Hobie dealer, on the east side of the U.S. Like he's really done well with that. Mustang Survival, and then Shimano and G Loomis. Calco's Fishing. I love those guys. David Romanis, he takes good care of us, and he gets me anything I need. So those are the companies that I've worked with, for a few years now, and I'll stick with them as long as they do me right. I'll keep on doing the same for them.
How do we get a liquor sponsor?
Drink a lot on the show is probably, if you want a pro tip, that was probably it. Well, I mean, we bullshit and have a good time, but Western Sun, they got involved with kayak fishing in Texas. Duke Tran actually kind of gave us the hookup on that. But they started, they listened to the KBN podcast, and we just bullshit around, have a good time. And they're like, man, we'd love to sponsor you guys. And we kind of thought, maybe it wasn't serious. So we drafted, like a little business plan proposal, like here's our reach, here's what kind of engagement we have, and threw a number out. And they were like, yeah, sure, let's go. And that was,
That's because they love to see drunk kayakers out there going in a circle, man.
I love to see it too.
Well, do you want to talk about KBN real quick?
Yeah, so KBN, that's our Kayak Bass Nation Facebook group. We started it because we kind of got exiled from another kayak bass fishing
Can't imagine why.
page. Yeah, I don't know either. We had opinions, and those weren't, I guess, approved. So we got banished, and we started our own thing. And when we kind of grew it from like the rejects, the cesspool, as it was called by some industry insiders, we grew it into this just kind of fun, like cutting up. There's some information in there mixed in. It's a lot of jokes, a lot of poking fun. And now we have like, I don't know, over 11,000 members, and we've got a pretty good podcast where we interview guys that, just winning big tournaments or, releasing new products. We have, different kayak designers come on and tell us about what's new, what's next, that kind of thing. So I mean, we've had a fun time with it. It's a good little hobby that kind of grew into more like a job, trying to keep the ball rolling. But we have a good time with it. When we don't have a good time with it, we'll probably just quit.
Just be done. We're done.
I hear you.
You'll try to log on to the page one day and it's just going to be gone. And be like, well, all right, they finally got tired of our shit, so they closed it down.
I felt that way a couple times about fathering children. I'm like, I'm tired of this shit. I just want to be done.
Yeah.
You can't just be done.
No,
with
you
that.
can't, man. But I finished. I crossed the finish line. All y'all still at the beginning.
Oh man.
Well, Abel, Ben,
His name's Ryan.
lunch money.
Lunch money.
He was looking at his notes like that's not his name. What is that?
Well, I was thinking if I wanted to ask one more question, but I'm not.
Good.
I'm not going to ask one more question. No more question.
Hey, man, I want to give a shout out to all the bro staff that have joined us today.
Yeah.
At one point, we had over 50 viewers logged on, chatting it up with us, having a good time. This is something new to us. We're going to do more of it. At least, I think right now we have it planned at least once a quarter. So, that's what I call more of. Austin, did you like the Frozen? I don't know if he's responding to the "Would you like to go fishing?" So anyway, tune in to Instagram because we are doing a lot of recaps from last year's episodes, and sometimes they're pretty good, man. I kind of get creative with this stuff.
They're always good.
They're pretty fun,
Quit
man.
being humble. They're
I'm
funny.
having fun with them. I'm like, I'm working. I'm like designing spaceships, and then I get this crazy idea. I want to spoof Joe Dirt. So here I go, man. I post out some video spoofing Joe Dirt, and it's a break from the monotony during the day, and I'm having fun with it. So y'all tune in. We need more Instagram followers, and we're getting really close to our YouTube giveaway, man. I think we're in the 90s, bro.
We're getting right there. They get to pick something from the treasure closet.
The treasure closet.
The treasure closet. The treasure closet. I'm wanting to get in there and get some gifts to give away, but make sure to go to our YouTube, the Instagram, paddlers_playbook, Facebook page, the bro staff page.
Check it out, guys.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys liked the live show. It took us 2, 3, 4 hours. I've been here since 4 o'clock. 7 hours. It was a good time though, man. I had fun.
You want to tell them who's going to be on the next live show? Do we want to release that right now? Triple threat.
Did you send that to me in a message that I didn't read?
The triple threat, man.
So triple threat is a new format that we're going to have, and this format is Matt Murphy, Drew, and myself. Nice. And this is where we discuss not only fishing topics but also current events, things in the world that may not apply to fishing but apply to dudes and families. And it is a fishing show. It's a kayaking fishing show, but it's the triple threat. Okay, and we're going to talk to Matt Murphy about all the really cool things that he's doing with his program, which is Matt Murphy Outdoors. And each time we do an episode with Matt Murphy, we'll talk more and more about how he's developing Matt Murphy Outdoors and his programs for all of you guys that are interested. And then the third part, I can't remember what the third part of the triple threat is, but
It's a live show. So then we were going to take questions.
oh, that's right.
That
oh,
are live
no.
on Facebook.
Yeah, the last part of the triple threat is we bring the bro staff into the broadcast, guys. So no longer are you just listening. We bring you on the show.
Oh, cool.
We bring you on the show. So it's going to be an experience. It's something that,
I like
that
it.
we drummed up a couple months ago, and we just got to get our schedules square with Matt and get it going, man. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Nice.
Hey,
So,
so
Chris-
Raul's bugging you, man.
Raul is really bugging about the
The
I'm-
best angler. I mean,
Oh,
obviously
my-
it's Ryan. I mean,
Duh.
yeah.
that's,
As
that's
far
an easy one. There
as-
you go, Raul.
now
What is that trophy that he has on his desk? I mean,
yeah,
that says
dude.
it all right there.
That's a big daddy
Can,
right
can
there.
we
man.
zoom in on that?
See that trophy.
What are you trying to see?
I want to see
You
that.
gonna have
There
my,
we
have
go.
my beer bottle.
Look at that thing.
Grand champion, Hobie
There it
Bass.
is. Woo!
Good Lord.
Woo!
Enough said.
That's it, man.
There's your
That's-
answer,
There
Raul.
you go, Raul.
That's probably all I'm ever gonna do is that one. I'm done. I'm pretty
That's
much
all
done.
you need, man.
For me,
walk
I checked that one off the list, man.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's a walk off.
Really? That's it?
I thought it was a walk off. Hell, then I won that Watts Bar one 2 weeks ago. I thought I was done. I thought I used all my luck up. Maybe I'm still in here. Who knows?
Nah, keep going at it, man.
Yeah, man.
Well, that triple threat that Chris was talking about is going to be March 20th. We're doing it the 20th. For those of you asking when the next live edition is going to be, it's going to be March 20th. We also have a great show coming up with Scott Knoll. It's going to be kind of a guide's guide. He's going to tell us the type of things you should expect from a guide. He has transitioned from kayak guiding to skiff guiding.
Yep.
So he can give you a plethora
Skiff
of
Bay and
information.
near shore.
Near shore, tarpon. He's done so much. So it's going to be more focused towards maybe if you think you may want to become a guide in the future, or if you're hiring a guide, what should that guide be doing for you? So look out for that one. Look out for the triple threat episode coming on March 20th. But guys, it's 10:30.
Yeah, it's getting late.
We're cutting off the comments right. I'll give you 5 more seconds to leave.
Oh my goodness, man! You're killing me, Smalls.
Here goes Drew drawing shit out again.
I'll throw in a pair of socks if you cut it off right now.
10:32.
Are they used?
And lunch money.
Yeah, they're used. I'm wearing them right now.
All right, we're gonna hold you to it. Well, guys, everybody. We're gonna get out of here. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the show. Thanks for sticking around till 10:30. I know we said 6:30. That ain't,
Boy.
you guys knew we were gonna be late.
Boy.
You knew we were gonna be late.
We'll be better next time.
We'll be better on March 20th. So tune in March 20th. We're gonna have another giveaway for y'all.
Adios.
Thanks, guys.
Right
Y'all
here.
take it easy.
All right.